Welcome to Nadia's Kitchen Creations. This week I'm making peas and rice Guyanese style. You'll need 1 cup of dried black-eyed peas, picked through, soaked overnight, and drained. When you're ready to boil the black-eyed peas, you'll need a heavy bottom pot. Place the beans in there and make sure that the beans are covered and simmer for about 30 minutes or until the black-eyed peas are tender. During the cooking process, any scum that you see on the top, just simply skim it off. When the beans are done and tender but still firm, rinse them in cool water and set them aside. You can do this a day or two ahead. Just make sure to keep the beans refrigerated. Next step, you need to toast 2 to 3 cardamom pods on the stove in an ungreased pan about 10 to 15 minutes and set those aside. You'll need 1 cup of long grain parboiled rice, making sure that it is rinsed until the water runs clear. In a large skillet or heavy bottom pot, heat 1 teaspoon of vegetable or coconut oil on a medium-high heat, adding the rice, making sure that it's not dripping wet. The rice needs to toast at this point, so it will take some time and patience. Don't walk away from the stove as you will be stirring the rice regularly. You're looking for the rice to go from a pale color to a nice golden brown. The cardamom that you toasted earlier, you can go ahead and get the cardamom seeds out of the pod. I just used a mortar and pestle and ground it to a nice fine texture and added it to my rice. You'll also need to add some pepper to taste. Traditionally, you use 1 or 2 chopped wiri peppers, but since I didn't have any on hand, I went ahead and used black pepper. You can also substitute in your favorite fresh hot pepper. I also added 1 small onion chopped and 1 large garlic clove that was minced. That is optional. At this point, celery is also added. If you do use celery, you'll need 1 to 2 celery stalks finely chopped. Next up is the coconut milk. Either use canned or prepare it from a dry mix, which I did. I added some water to make up the additional volume of 1.5 cups of liquid. At this point, you can also add salt to your taste or omit it altogether, and a pat of butter, which is optional, your choice. If you don't use it, you have a perfectly vegan dish. Making sure that your heat is on medium, cover that up and let that simmer for about 20 minutes. And if you notice that the liquid is evaporating too quickly and your rice is still pretty hard at the 20-minute mark, go ahead and add in another 1/4 cup of hot water and then cover that up again. Most of the liquid has evaporated at this point, and you can do another check of the rice to see how tender it is, and it should be good at the 30-minute mark. It should be tender, unless of course you have double the amount, a larger pot. So we're going to do one last check of the rice tenderness and making sure that the bottom of the pan is a little dry. At the end of the cooking process, when you know that it's ready, when the peas are nice and tender, when the rice is tender but not mushy, you want to look for a dry bottom, and that's why I'm scraping it back so you can see. But you want a dry bottom with a little bit of color and a little bit of crust, not burning, but if you left it for a few minutes and walked away, it might burn. So at that point, you pull it off of the heat and cover it back up for about 10 minutes. And before serving, just give it a nice fluff with a fork or spoon gently so you don't break apart your rice and peas. And you can see after that 10-minute mark how the bottom of the pan is now clean again. All the dried up bits have come loose with that 10 minutes of steam action. And that is your rice and peas, perfect for a meal or as a side. You can head on over to nadiadonella.com for the full and printable recipe of rice and peas Guyanese style. Before you go, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button so you know when I upload new videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.